I guess,
Zach,
Luke,
and then John Blow.
sorry. I know that things always change kind of over the course of time, but I can remember Coach Allen talking about him seeing you as a guy that at one time, was going to redshirt, really have a lot of time to kind of develop physically, things like that. Now you're starting at Ohio State just a few months later. Again, I know it's a lot has changed and there's an awful lot that's weird about kind of everything that's going on, but just what has that transition been like for you in terms of maybe gaining some of that weight faster and obviously making this quick impact in college at this level? Forgive me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you said, like I was coming in here thinking I was going to redshirt and all that, and then had camp and everything, and then having my number called up and getting the starting spot. It was definitely a big wake up call for me, knowing that I really need to focus on the film, studying, and also the weight factor. Like they weren't too concerned about my weight, redshirting, like getting slow, but now that all this has gone on, I really had to step it up and focus in.
All right, John, and then Matt.
So we've talked to Marcus Elliott. He's another junior college guy. Obviously, you have to have a certain belief in yourself that, being overlooked maybe a little bit in high school, that you have an ability to play at this kind of level. I think I talked to your high school coach, and he said maybe you're going to go walk on at Cal and play rugby and football and do both of those things. Was maybe kind of a thought. I mean, why do you, kind of stick with the idea of I can play football at a Big Ten level? Like what drove you to do that?
Well, really what it was is when I went to visit the JC and I saw the opportunity that they can move players on, I kind of just saw that and wanted to take the chance. And obviously I spent 2 years at the JC, so the first year, not much really happened, but I just stuck with it and trust the process. And then eventually all this happened.
All right, Matt and Kevin.
Hey, Luke. Obviously coming in, you had some experienced guys there with Caleb and Matthew, and even some other guys you've been around, Aiden and Britt and some of those guys. How much have you leaned on them? How much have they helped you just, with the study and the film study, the practice, what to expect every day? And then obviously when you get into games, what it's going to be like?
Oh, they help a bunch. Especially when I first got here, I never felt like I was an outsider coming from a JC. They just were right there with me, helped me along. And then at the games and stuff, they're always, no matter what happens on the field, they're always just cheering me on and supporting me. And they've been great the whole time.
All right, Kevin, then Griffin.
Yeah, Luke, you touched on your weight. How are you trying to use leverage or different things to your advantage in, facing some of these Big Ten pass rushers on the edge?
Yeah, so I'm still a little underweight because it's still my first year. But actually at the JC, I was very underweight going against big DNs. So I've kind of always been smaller in weight-wise blocking. So I've kind of gotten used to being able to keep my pads low and trying to use as much leverage as possible to my advantage versus just trying to use straight my weight and all that in the run game.
Griffin, then Stefan.
Hey, Luke, I know when you started against Ohio State, Centers of Junior College Football put out a tweet talking about you starting. What have you heard from folks back in Sonoma County, the JC and Petaluma, and what can you remember from your time with PHS and Coach Chris that you learned from there that you're using now at IU?
Honestly, the biggest thing I've learned is because I wasn't a high recruit coming out of high school and I struggled a little bit my first year at the JC with recruiting, just be relentless and just keep going. No matter what's in your way, just keep pushing through it. And I feel like I brought that mentality here. Coming here, supposed to be redshirting and supposed to be third string, whatever. But I don't really let that faze me. I just kept trying my hardest at practice and pushing.
All right, Stefan, and then John Blow.
Obviously, after coming in and now starting a couple of games, I mean, how much do you feel your game has progressed? Maybe just in the past couple of weeks, even, or even in terms of confidence, where you've progressed the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it's been huge. Actually, getting these last two starts, I feel like everything's just been increased. My tempo, studying, everything's had to take a step up. Definitely from camp to now. I feel like I've made a huge step up in everything that I do to prepare.
All right, John, wrap us up.
I wanted to ask you about rugby. So what position did you play? Did you carry the ball a lot? And why did you love that sport the way you did?
Yeah, so I played lock in rugby, and I got to carry the ball not a bunch, but I definitely got to carry it. And I just started playing my sophomore year of high school and really just fell in love with it. And I don't know, there's not much to say, just a really fun sport to play.
All right.